Well, hello, everyone. How are you all? Hopefully, you're doing good. Welcome to Illusion Fox Gaming. So, today we are continuing in patch 3.4. And, of course, doing some Stream Raider stuff too. Alfno would rather not worry about what may or may not come to pass. There is not to be gained from dwelling on an eventuality over which we have no control, much less one which may never even come to pass. Let us tend to more immediate matters. Informing Commander Blodian of Titan's demise, for example. You may be certain that he'll be glad of the news. Would you be so kind as to break it to him? Ah, you're a sight for sore eyes. When the others came back without you, I feared the worst. But they said you had matters well in hand. All settled then, is it? I'm glad to hear it, but not as half as glad as my men will be. Believe me, believe you me. Regardless whether or not he was summoned properly, a primal's a primal, and there ain't a soul in the maelstrom that hasn't lost a friend to one. Don't get me wrong, like we were all prepared to do our part, but we weren't so naive to think we'd live to tell the tale. Thankfully, of course, it didn't come to that, which, my friend, sounds to me like cause for celebration. Now, I know you lot have places to be, but why not stay the night? We'd be honored to raise a glass of the triumphant return of Titan's Bane.
Who goes there? Oh, it's you. Forgive me for straying from the camp. He hasn't been feeling too welcome, to say the least. I thought a change of scenery might do him good. But, alas. It's so quiet out here. The stars spread out before us, beckoning across time and space. Dawn may banish even the darkest night. How bitterly beautiful, those words. I should be stronger for all my experiences. Yet my heart aches more than ever. I never understood why Grandfather gave his life that day. I thought that if I came here, I would find the answers I needed. But when I finally laid eyes on the land he sacrificed everything to save, saw firsthand the bickering, the pettiness, I was disappointed. I was angry. I could not fathom how these people were more deserving of his love than his family, than me. Nevertheless, I had to believe he had good reason. I was determined to uncover the whole truth of the calamity, and perhaps in so doing find my own purpose in this sea of chaos. My travels have been enlightening, but I cannot say that I have enjoyed them. I have lost count of the many petty crises that I was helpless to resolve, and of the people whose actions I could not understand. There were others, of course. Good people. People with whom I felt a kinship, whose lives I could not save. I found myself asking what it was all for. Why try if I was doomed to fail in the end? But then I recalled grandfather's words to my father, years ago, before he left Heidelin behind forever. To ignore the plight of those one might conceivably save is not wisdom, it is indolence. We must all protect that which we hold most dear in the manner of our own choosing. We have to try, do we not? Of course, it's one thing to try and another to do. There were times while I was tracking the warriors of darkness when I faltered, when I was afraid. But then I thought of my brother, of Urianger. Oh, pray forgive me. This conversation has been rather one-sided, hasn't it? Mayhap you could recount some of your adventures in Ishgard. Gods! They must have been at each other's throats from dawn till dusk. I dare say you managed to keep the peace, though. Merely being in the presence of the Warrior of Light is surely enough to shame anyone into behaving.
No.
The hopes and dreams of so many rest on your shoulders, Warrior of Light. As long as the sun rises, we can but carry on, for the sake of those we hold dear.
If only that had been the case.
To what end dost thou cling to the tainted gifts of the Mother?
Every tool has its purpose. Even this. Well, what is it?
The seeds sown in Vilbrand have been plucked from the earth and left to wither. Alas, Titan's demise sufficed not to drive the kobolds to deepest desperation.
What did the man in white have to say?
That we are to proceed as he did first set forth.
Well, that's easy for him to say. It's not his bloody world on the brink of destruction, is it?
Be thou well reminded that with an end to Ishgard's unrest, naught now remaineth to preoccupy the Scions' thoughts, and thus may they devote their every energy to thwarting thee and thine. I foresee only greater difficulties ahead.
Foresee? Are you sure you don't welcome them? I'm starting to think you might hold a candle for your old friends after all.
Pray do not mistake mine intent. I but look upon the path which lieth before us with due trepidation. Shouldst thou be of like mind, pray consider then another course, For the power to invoke the ardour belongeth not unto the Asians alone. With thine own hand strike down thine enemy, the so-called hero who would see thy home lost to light. Do but this, and thou wouldst at a single stroke disrupt the all-too delicate balance of this realm, plunging her straightways into chaos.
You do realize what you're suggesting, yes?
To ignore the plight of those one might conceivably save is not wisdom, it is indolence. The words of my teacher, and a creed I hold close to my heart.
You son of a bitch.
Very well. Draw her out. We'll make it quick.
It shall be done.
Bastard.
What good a creed one cannot uphold? What hurts soothed? What lives saved? Oh, hapless fool, what hast thou wrought by thine own hands? Minfilia, my friends, I shall not now beg your forgiveness.
Yeah.
Full deeply though it paineth me to walk it, I shall not stray from my chosen path. As Moonbreeder remains steadfast, so too shall I.
What? Trust you had a good night's rest? I was but this moment speaking with Thancred and Ishtola via link probe. They had some interesting news to share. Apparently, during the course of their respective investigations, both came across crates which had once borne Ishgardian seals. It would seem that someone in the capital has been very busy indeed. Accordingly, the Temple Knights have launched a full-scale investigation. Sir Merrick believes that it is only a matter of time before the culprits are found, but we shall have to wait and see. In the meantime, it seems only prudent to look into the recent activities of the other tribes, in case they too are flushed with the Ishgardian crystals. And with that in mind, I suggest we pay Oranger another... Wait, where's Alice? She was here a moment ago with Gabu. Let me guess, it's time to leave, isn't it? My apologies for disappearing again. If it is any consolation, I've already packed my things. How is he? Brother, Commander Bloden, something tells me you are not solely here out of concern for his welfare. But to answer your question, there's been no change. He will not speak or eat. I'm not even sure if he slept. If he did, he seems none the better for it. He just shuffles about with that same expression on his face. You will look after him, won't you, Commander, and treat him with every kindness? He's still in there, I know it. Beneath the anguish and the despair, he's still fighting with all his heart. He deserves to be given that chance until he comes back to us, until we know for certain what has become of him. Aye, you needn't worry. If he hadn't risked his neck to warn us and help you secure the better part of the crystals, this could have turned out a damn sight Sight worse than it did. We'll not soon forget that, nor will Maelstrom Command. I'm so sorry, Gabu, I truly am. You should never have been made to, and I know I cannot possibly understand. Maybe there's nothing I can do or say, the pain, the anger, the helplessness. Hold fast to the memories of better times. Remember them as they were. And when it hurts so much your heart feels fit to burst, let it burst. Let it burst and fill up again with your love for them. And never, ever forget. Come along, little one. I will remember them, and you, Alice. Thank you. Have faith, sister. Your words have reached him in time. He will recover. And those who orchestrate these events will be made to answer for their crimes. Thousand times over, there will be a reckoning. We have heard the glad tidings from Ogomoro, my friends. By the grace of the 12 and your most valiant efforts, the people of Limsa Lominsa may rest easy. I should like to think so, yes. Though we failed to prevent the Lord of Crags from manifesting, we did succeed in weakening him, enabling our friend to dispatch him before the Warriors of Darkness could make matters worse. 'Twas by no means an unmitigated success, but it will have to suffice. Then let us speak of another matter, one which weigheth heavy on my lady's mind. As thou didst request, I sought out the Gurren oracles, that we might better understand the aims of the Warriors of Darkness. Though their copious use of allegory defieth any single interpretation, the oracles paint a most disturbing picture, one of worlds parallel to our own, apart yet linked, reduced to ruin with every umbral calamity. 7 times they have succeeded. Then of 10 and 3, only 6 worlds remain. Aye, all is as my lady Menphelia spake unto thee. As for what becometh of these reflections when they and the source are rejoined, frail flesh undone in umbral fires, each soul surrendereth to her call, to flow unto the endless sea, there to endure as one and none. And the warriors of darkness succeed, everyone in their world will die. In essence, the verse speaketh of the renunciation of the flesh, and subsequent return to the life stream. However, this fate may yet be preferable to the alternative. For if the first were to fall to transcendent light in the manner the warriors of darkness described, it would give way unto a void wherein none may know their either life or death. For better to die they reason, for in death there is life. The essence of a soul which burneth unto the source may be born anew. Save such at least is their belief, I surmise. If that is true, then gods, no one should ever have to make such a choice. Ere we speak further on this subject, I would share with thee another recent discovery. It would seem that several sizable shipments of crystals have been delivered into the hands of certain Alamegan parties. Alamegan, strange, and you believe this is to be the work of the same Ishgardian smuggler who supplied the beast tribes? I know beyond a shadow of a doubt, and lest thou wonder at their motive, I remind you that the Ascians did once attempt to bring about the summoning of Rhalgar. The individuals who took receipt of these shipments are refugees belonging to a group devoted to the cause of Alamegan liberation. It may also interest thee to know that their Ishgardian suppliers appear to be none other than the remnants of Eileen Morale's network of spies. Surely you jest, and yet it is not so surprising. Bereft of leadership and hunted by the Alliance, I can well imagine such villains being desperate enough to conspire with the Ascians, assuming they even know or care who their new employers are. All of which is irrelevant. Forgive me, we must seek out the resistance group which received the crystals without delay. Illusion, Alice, will you come with me to Little Alamigo? Yes, of course, I should like to hear what they have to say for themselves firsthand. May you ever walk in the light of the crystal. Alpha, no, Alice, are you three listening? Good, I have tidings. The Temple Knights raided the smuggler's warehouse less than an hour ago. A cursory interrogation of the prisoners yielded confirmation that they were in the employ of, and I hope you're sitting down, a man in black robes. Then you have them, and the crystals too? What few remained, aye. Regrettably, it would seem they dispatched one final shipment in the hours before we struck. 'Twas bound for Little Alamigo, we are told, where it will be received by members of a local resistance group. Since Sir Amaric's men no longer have need of my services, I have mind to head that way. As do we. By happy coincidence, we learned of the shipments but a few moments ago. Ha, and the hero was thinking I might finally be one step ahead of the Warrior of Light and her little helpers. Oh, wait a minute, there's more, and I defy you not to be surprised by this revelation. The leader of the Ishgardian smugglers was formerly in the employ of one Line Royale, the infamous Ivy herself. Once again, Thancred, I fear I must inform you that. Thancred, with whom else have you shared this information? About the smugglers? No one, as I think I mentioned, the raid was less than an hour ago. I was planning to contact Ishola next, but is there someone else who would have me notify first? No, there isn't. Things are starting to piece together. They're starting to realize it, what we got in the cutscene. What in the world has gotten into her? It is twice now that we have stopped Ranger's, and twice she has treated him as if he were a stranger. The Archon was one of Grandfather's most dedicated pupils and spent as much time at the Lavallee estate as we did. He's practically a member of the family. Truth be told, I struggle to recall a day from my childhood when I did not see the three of them laughing together. If this continues, I may have to raise the matter later, though. Little Alamigo awaits. Desert areas. I hate desert areas. I'll get to the bottom of this. Oh, forgive me. It's been a long day. Did you have something to say? Orange, I've always struggled to understand what's going on in his head, now more than ever. Listen, if anything should happen, it should be by me who just know that I am prepared to do what must be done. Right then, to more pressing matters. Since we have no idea when Thancred might arrive, I suggest we see what information we can gather in his absence. Alphino is eager to get to work. So to review, we are reliably informed that the members of the Alamegan resistance operating here have taken receipt of several large shipments of crystals. Our task being to ascertain who and why. Given the size of the settlement, I find it hard to believe that anyone here could be wholly unaware of the resistance's movements. The challenge, of course, will be finding individuals who are both able and willing to share such information with outsiders. It would seem sensible to divide our forces. Why don't you question residents in the eastern half of town, Alisana will do the same in the west. And afterwards we can rendezvous here to share our findings. Let me guess, come to join the fight, have you? No need to deny it. Friend, you're not the first to answer the Griffin's call. While he's lit a fire in every Alamegan's heart, he's also inspired more than a few Oldens to pledge themselves to the cause. And little wonder the Garleans won't stop until we're all under the yoke. I see you there going around asking questions looking for the Griffin and his lot, I'll bet. Seems they're the talk of Little Amigo these days. Folk wondering what he's about, what he's got in store for the Garleans, and what's under that mask of his, of course. Some say he's hardly got a face with all the scars. Others reckon he's been marked for death by the Empire, and that they sent a bloody legion if they knew he was here. Your guess is as good as mine. Last one must be upstairs. And the resistance, damned if I know. It's not as if I'd be any use to them. If you set store by all these tales of secret weapons, good luck to you, but I'm too old for the mask's bedtime stories. This is our lot, and it's time we got used to it. I suppose I should ask what you learned, but I think I already know. This Griffin seems to be the leader of a newly formed faction within the Resistance. The masks, yet despite their growing popularity, no one seems to know much about them. Only that they are the most aggressively militant group to join the movement in recent memory. Indeed, many claim their commitment to the cause of Alamegan liberation is unrivaled. We can but hope their revolutionary fervor is never channeled in the direction of a primal. Though I feel confident that this is the group which received the crystal shipments, we yet lack proof. Before taking any action, I would speak with the settlement's leader to confirm my suspicions. And mayhap enlist his help while I'm about it. Given that you and Gundobald are already acquainted, mayhap it would be best if you took the lead, shall we? Much as it pleases me to see you again, I cannot help but wonder if I should be worried. I hear you and yours have been asking questions. Well, yeah, that's because we have been. The Griffin I know of him, as do we all. He and his masks have become a leading faction within the Resistance. Though there was a suspicion at first, given his secretive ways, he quickly proved himself a charismatic and capable commander. Men are drawn to his passion and his vision. They truly believe that he has what it takes to lead them to victory. Even I cannot help but admire the man for what he's accomplished, but I have not forgotten Wilred. I was blind to the danger of his ambitions, and you were not. The Griffin will soon deliver a speech to our people at the Sunken Temple of Karn. Go and see him with your own eyes. Weigh his words with your own heart. How convenient it is, but a pity Thancred is not here to join us. You two go on ahead, I shall stay behind and wait for him. Knowing Thancred, he's already there. There we go. Look at that happy fox. Has it been already? I hear voices coming from within.
Brothers and sisters, 20 years ago, Alamigo, our home, was claimed by the Garlean Empire. In our haste to overthrow the King of Ruin, we turned a blind eye to our foes in the north. With our glorious revolution, we but laid a path for a new tyrant to succeed the old. And when confronted with our failure, we fled. Not a day goes by that I do not think of those we left behind. Think of them and feel ashamed. And I know each and every one of you feels the same. We abandoned them, our own flesh and blood, to labor till their backs gave in and their breath gave out, building the twisted steel ramparts which now mar our once majestic mountains. We abandoned them, the brave and true, to fight and die for their country, or worse, to be conscripted and sent off to rob another poor bastard of his home. We abandoned them, the meek and powerless, to bow and scrape when the Garleans pass, to sully themselves that they might live to see another day of misery. The Black Wolf may be dead, But a new Imperial Viceroy reigns in Alamigo now. A beast, not a fraction as merciful. You all know the Eorzean Alliance will do naught to oppose him. For all their promises and platitudes, they will not act if there's no profit in it. Only we can free our brothers and sisters from the Empire's tyranny, my friends. Only we have the courage to stand and fight. They have imprisoned us. They have enslaved us. And they have murdered us. But no more! Blood demands blood, and the Garleans shall pay for every drop they have spilt upon our lands. This I promise you, for we have a power within us, my friends. A power befitting our pride, our righteousness. Only join us, and we shall grant you the means to unleash it, and together we shall see the Alamigan standard raised over the mountains of Gia Arbania once more!
A power befitting their pride. Not at all ominous, that. Wait, is that...
What are you two doing here?
We could ask the same of you.
I could ask you the same thing.
Well, this is quite the surprise.
If you see what I see, if you feel as I feel...
Might I suggest we continue this conversation in more agreeable surroundings?
For it is not strength of arms that will win this battle, but strength of heart.
What I do now, North? But welcome and hello. Words cannot express how glad I am to see you both alive and well. And you, though it was pretty obvious you and Illusion would be fine. The Gristle Braves have never had a realistic chance of capturing any of the Scions, divided as they were and distrusted by the better part of Eorzea. But if you all truly believe that, forgive me, what exactly have you two been doing all this time? And what list is being compiled? Oh, the list of what have I done? Okay. Repaying a favor, after the banquet we had no choice but to flee Ulda, and we would not have been able to do so without the aid of some old friends from the Resistance. That's right, they smuggled us out of the city and sheltered us in Little Alamigo, all at great risk themselves. Obviously we couldn't let that go unacknowledged, so we offered to help them out with their operation for a while. We learned of the Scion's exoneration that Lalorita had severed all ties with the Crystal Braves, and that General Bond had been reinstated. We resolved to make contact, but having long since discarded our link pearls as a precautionary measure, our options were rather limited. To make matters more complicated, we were embroiled in a delicate operation at the time. Leaving me with little choice but to entrust a letter to a courier, I gave from your puzzled expression, however, the thing that you never received it. To be honest, we thought this might happen. While the Masters are happy to let the refugees spread the word within the community, They're pretty strict about communicating with outsiders. Oh, and we also heard a rumor that the Griffin doesn't want us meddling in his affairs. The Griffin mistrusts the signs of the Seventh Dawn? Curious, it is well known that we are no friend to Garlemald. One would think the man we saw beseeching all and sundry to join his cause would welcome our support. It's because he's an idiot and a dick. And a treasonous bastard at that. Ah, I should say that the man you saw was not in fact the Griffin, but an impersonator, and a talented rabble-rouser to boot. It would not surprise me if he was responsible for the majority of these public appearances. As you may have gathered, the Griffin is an extremely cautious and distressing man who has made every effort to conceal his identity. Even when participating in a raid under his direct command, we are not permitted to approach him. It's hard to know what to make of it all, the secrecy, the impersonators, the masks. What? It's not as if I'm making all of you wear one, and mine only covers half my face. It's completely different. No, it's not. Not at all. But you look a lot better when you get rid of that mask. Anyway, when we heard the Griffin was due to give a speech, we thought it might be a good opportunity to get a better sense of the man behind the, For all the good it did. And now you have heard the whole of it, but tell me, what prompted you to take an interest in the Griffin? Something, you're not serious. I can't believe it. The Resistance would never even entertain such a ridiculous plan, but the Griffin, well, the man is an enigma. I cannot say with any confidence that he would or would not do. What I can say, however, is that the speech we heard today was not the first to make a reference to a power capable of defeating the Empire. The masks have made many such claims of late. I confess I assumed it to be more bluster, but in the context of the shipments of which you spoke, it is not. Impossible that they are alluding to a primal. Whatever it is, we'll find out together, and if anyone tries to stop us, they'll answer to me. Indeed, that is assuming you'll have us. Of course we'll have you. Why would we not? Has a mind to learn the Griffin's true intentions. As you suspect the Griffin is indeed plotting to summon a primal, we must needs obtain confirmation while there is yet time to act. To that end, I propose we question his double. Given his role as the group's de facto mouthpiece, I should not be surprised if he were one of the Griffin's closest associates. And while he may not be aware of the most sensitive details, he can probably tell us the master's plans in broad strokes. Like the man whom he impersonates, however, he is wary of outsiders. He will not expose himself without a suitable incentive. My plan is as follows. You and Alphino will pose as adventurers fallen in hard times. Inspired by his words, take up arms for a noble cause. Ida and I, as members of the Resistance, will recount tales of your past achievements and testify as to your usefulness in the struggles ahead. With our enthusiastic assurances still ringing in his ears, he will decide to welcome you in person, and we will arrange a meeting. You'll need to look the part that he might maintain the charade. Until we have him cornered, at least here, this should be able to purchase suitable garments from Talabot, and to have him rub a respectable amount of dirt on them for good measure. Any questions? It all seems simple enough, and thank you. And with that, let us be off. You wanted me to put on dirty clothing to... Why is it you people choose the worst disguises possible? You want to buy what? I don't know what you're up to, but I want no part of it. Here's a bunch of coin. All your loans to Gil and Zealand's your friends at Palmo. There. Some clothes for the both of you, tailored and treated to your tastes. Now off with you before someone sees us together. Clothes maketh the man, as they say. Right then, I will go and change and see you at the spot Palmo marked on our maps. That reminds me, I still need to watch that Kingsman movie that they did. The kind of origin story of the Order. Well, I thought our next thing was the Matrix movie. Oh, look at us, a pair of down-and-heel adventurers seeking chance to recapture past glories. Yes, this should suffice. And now we play the waiting game.
My thanks, comrades. You must be the esteemed adventurers of whom I've heard so much. I understand you have taken an interest in our cause.
A great interest, you might say. Your words have certainly made quite an impression on my friend and I. The Resistance has long, and some would say wisely, avoided open engagements with the Garleans, but you and yours seem confident against the world in arms. I can only assume you have good reason to be so bold. Why, one might even think you are planning to summon a primal. Because that would do much to explain the sizable shipment of crystals you recently received from your smuggler friends, whom our Ishgardian allies have since detained, lest you wonder.
I'd like to hear more about the Griffin. The real Griffin. Your performance earlier didn't fool us.
I hope our dry climbing did.
The famous scions of the Seventh Dawn. I should have known better than to think I could conceal the truth from you lot. You are right. I am not the Griffin, but I speak with his voice, and it was at his behest that we procured those crystals. You are wrong, however, if you think that we procured them to summon a primal. We used them to reach an accord with the Amalja. In exchange for crystals to summon their god, they will aid us in the fight for Alamegan liberation.
That's almost
You've
worse.
got to be joking. Have you gone completely mad?
Yes, he has.
When people find out you helped the Lizardmen summon Ifrit, they'll turn on the Resistance. Alamigo will never be free.
This isn't a fairy tale, girl. We don't have the luxury to play at being honourable heroes. It's because the likes of you wouldn't sully your saintly hands that Alamigo's been under the yoke for the past 20 years. But the Griffin won't stand for it, and neither will we. We're ready to do whatever it takes.
What proof do you have of this arrangement with the Amalja?
Aside from a lack of crystals, none. But the beastmen have a great big pile of the things if you fancy looking. You might want to hurry, though. It'll not be long before they summon their god. Search our camp if you don't believe me. We have naught to hide.
If there is a cache to be found, Ida and I will find it.
Then let us be off. Are you perchance the Warrior of Light?
Yep, that would be me.
Aye, I thought so. You should know that a great many who have joined us did so because you saved them. Because you showed them that one brave woman can make a difference. You saved me too once. Helped a friend over in Quarry Mill make some medicine I needed. But that was a lifetime ago. On behalf of my brothers and sisters, I thank you. You gave us hope where there was none, courage and strength when all was lost. We shall not squander your gift.
I know that look, Ida, and I do not like it. You cannot seriously be contemplating taking up arms with that band of cutthroats.
I just...
You just what?
If the Griffin and his men have their way, it is only a matter of time before the situation in Alamigo comes to a head. Your homeland's future teeters on a knife edge, and any reckless action, however small, could have irrevocable consequences. You mustn't lose sight of that, Ida. When the time comes, we must all make our choices, but we must do so in full possession of the facts. Now, let us away. There is work to be done.
Quirimo, he said, do you remember? Forgive me, but you cannot be expected to recall every name and face. Besides, it's not as if it matters. I've long admired how you live in the present, how you focus on the problems at hand and always keep moving forward. So let's keep moving forward together. We must find and secure those crystals. This is no time for looking back. Which of these sounds best? Loten Cordon Bleu, Spaghetti Pescatore, Flonarde, or an elegant silver piece. The Spaghetti Pescatore sounds the best meal. One life for one world. Alfna would keep moving forward. If we take the Griffin's double at his word, then the crystals are now somewhere within Zaharik, ready to be put to use by the Amalja. We must apprise Alisei of all we have learned. I will join you both in Little Alamigo after I have changed. Finally getting around to adding last month's Humble Bundle games to the list of games I could stream. What choice do we have? We cannot very well leave them in the hands of the Amalja. For all we know, they could be preparing to summon Ifrit even as we speak. We must make for Zaharik without delay. Agreed. If there's naught else to discuss, let's depart at once. And so they go forth in accordance with the Griffin's plan. The players gather to assume their marks on a stage wreathed in flame. Ere long the curtain shall rise, and the drama of which I am author, gods forgive me, shall at last be performed. Naught else remaineth save to stand at the ready and pray that the chance is seized, for never shall we know its like again. I confess, I expected a warmer greeting, but we must not jump to conclusions. Not until we have braved the bowl of embers. We must be ready to engage the enemy at any moment. If you would make any final preparations, pray do so now. I shall await your signal. Yeah, we have sufficient time. I mean, I don't have work for another 14 hours.
This isn't right. The Amalja would never leave this place so poorly guarded.
I just have to work at some point. Or go to sleep at some point, I mean.
Not willingly, no.
The saviors of Eorzea. Slow as ever.
By the 12. Will you never learn?
You know, you're right. Mayhap it is time for a change of tack. Killing primals, tormenting beastmen, hastening the birth of a new god. It's all a bit much, isn't it? And frankly, we don't have the leisure to do it. But killing the warrior of light, on the other hand, that would soon plunge Eorzea into chaos. One life for one world. A fair exchange. Wouldn't you agree?
Lest you forget, you've more than one opponent.
Carbuncle! Defend me!
I sense you will offer more than mere target practice, unlike your sister.
Alize!
Alice is a badass in her own right.
Did I not tell you, Alphino? I am not the girl I once was. My brother was always the clever one, while my talents lay elsewhere. If you would dare to stand against us, to destroy all that we hold dear, then you shall die by my sword.
Let's finish this.
Yes, let's finish this. Let me pack you up into a box and send you home.
You shall fall soon enough.
There's no escape!
Seriously?
No more games! It ends now. What?
The chains!
You snake! You would betray us as well?
He that holdeth fast unto his convictions shall never count betrayal amongst his crimes, though all the world may call him villain. My path is unchanged, my creed sacrosanct. This I believe with all my heart. But say, warrior of darkness, and speak true, what dost thou believe? That rendering up the souls of thy world in service to the rejoining will grant it salvation? Nay.
By the 12! Oriange!
Mine apologies, Master Alphino. That the brightest light might shine, duty did compel me to walk in darkest shade.
You sweet fool. I was almost willing to believe you had turned against us. I expect a full explanation when this is over. For now, may I assume
Yeah, I
you've turned
kind
your
of
cloak for the
agree.
last time?
Thou mayest, my lady. By thy leave.
Even odds, then. No matter. We'll crush the lot of you in one fell swoop!
You'll certainly try.
Understood.
Hearken to me. We only have one chance. Channel your ether into my blade that I might strike before the mage casts his spell. I cannot do it alone, but together we can defeat them! Make ready! They come! I must have more ether! The ether! Ugh, it's not enough!
God damn it.
I can feel it! Just a little more!
Hurry it up, neighbor! I'll crush you!
Let me click the thing! You! Why are you hitting me? I never touched you.
This cannot be.
Son of a... Just like, leave me alone. I need to click the thing. Sad that it's not like some of the newer cutscenes, and it will actually like bookmark your spot.
You shall fall soon enough.
There's no escape! No more games!
You say so.
It ends now. What?
I must have more ether. It's not enough!
Yeah, just let me know once you're ready for more, and I will try to provide it to you.
I can feel it! Just a little more!
Hurry it up, neighbour! I'll crush you!
God damn, get him off me!
Tis done! With this blade, I banish the darkness!
It's like, I know I'm playing a tank right now, but it's like, you guys can take some of the work.
No. Not like this.
Alize, are you hurt?
A touch dizzy, but otherwise fine. Thank you.
And there you have it. Our friend is too stubborn to die.
We are far from finished. Or have you never considered how we came to this world?
Crystals? You mean, like the Ascians?
Just so. As the Ascians flee unto the rift twixt planes with crystals of darkness, so did these warriors come hither with crystals of light.
Eloquent, as always. Aye, like the Ascians, we too are beyond death. You cannot defeat that which is eternal.
Wait! Such methods as the Ascians employ require the renunciation of the flesh. You would have had to...
At long last, you see. To save our world, we gave our lives. We were just adventurers trying to make our way. An odd job here, a favor there. We never aspired to be warriors of light. But word of our deeds spread, and soon people were calling us heroes. They placed their hopes and dreams on our shoulders and bid us fight for all that was good and right. We fought, and we fought, and we fought, until there was no one left to fight. We won! And now our world is being erased from existence. We did everything right. Everything that was asked of us, and still it came to this. You of all people should understand. We will not falter. We brought our world to the brink of destruction, and now we must save it.
I've died before, Arbet. I'm not afraid to die again.
No matter how many times we fall, we must rise and carry on the fight for those we left behind.
To have known the depths of sorrow and embraced the highest sacrifice. Nonetheless, Master Louis-Soix, guide my hand, I pray you, as fate's thread spinneth upon this most capricious spindle. Quickly! Thou must needs invoke the power of thy crystal.
Hear, feel, think.
What is this place?
Such pain. Such sorrow. Oh, my dear children.
It can't be.
Mother Heidelin, hearken unto your children's plea. From two worlds do we gather, and from two worlds do we offer a bounty of light. In this desperate hour we do beseech your intercession. We beg an audience with the word of the Mother, with your chosen Minfilia.
Your cries go not unheard, nor your sacrifices unnoticed. Though many are lost, there are those we can yet save, whom I can yet save.
Minfilia.
Blessed children of the first, the light of your world hath grown blinding in its radiance, but it is not yet absolute. I will hie me to your world, and there take unto myself the light which riseth even now to drown it, as darkness once did drown another.
Now you deign to answer our prayers? I will suffer this farce no longer!
As the Ascians must serve as instruments of Zodiac's will, so too must others carry out the will of Heidelin. But for the boon you have granted her, she has grown strong enough to set me free, that I might serve as her emissary. Your suffering, your sacrifice, your supplications, she has heard all. We will not let the first fall to light.
He gave up quickly.
Thank you, Urianger, for bringing everyone here. It fills my heart with joy to look upon the faces of my friends once more.
In taking you unto her bosom, I knew that Heidelin had bequeathed to you a sliver of her grace, granting you strength long sought. And in treating with the Ascians, I learnt of a star like unto our own, a doomed world of fallen heroes, in whom I glimpsed ourselves, the first. Full long did I search for a means to save this world, concluding at the last that the answer lay in the power of blessed crystals. And thus did I labor to set light against dark. Yet I knew from the beginning that this salvation would not come without sacrifice. For the instrument of the first's deliverance would of necessity be required to journey thither, there to remain, mayhap forever.
You orchestrated all of this, not to save her, but to send her away.
Listen to what he was saying, boy.
One life for one world. Such was the bargain, and you the coin, though it were not mine to spend.
Have we not walked together in the light of the crystal? and at her bidding borne witness to the joys and sorrows of this land. Each and every one of you knows my heart. If this be the price I must pay, I pay it gladly.
You would go alone, then?
My dearest Thancred, you who have ever watched over me, I am truly grateful for all you have done on my behalf, as would my father be. Your kindness, your compassion, your love. These are your gifts to me, and our gifts to them, forming a bond which transcends time and space.
Sometimes I forget you are not the child I once knew. Make me proud.
Long have I watched you from Heidelin's side, watched as you nurtured and kept safe the light of the dawn. The dark recesses of the world hide untold secrets and dangers. Thus do I entrust to you, Tupsimati. I pray you, keep to the path that you may never have need of it.
Twould seem the power of our crystals is all but spent. Perhaps, if there is naught else to be done.
Hear me, servant of Heidelin. If you would have us place our trust in you, then I would ask a favor. Take us with you. Take us home. We were blind to the truth once, so I tell you this, as one fool to another. Light, dark, it doesn't matter. What matters is how you choose to use them. We made our choice and you see what came of it, so please, forge a different path. Seize a better fate.
Let's see here.
'Tis a strange feeling. So many times have I watched you depart, my heart filled with worry. And ever did you return to me in triumph. Someday, when I have found a way to free this star from her sorrow, I promise you I shall repay the favor.
It's we're in southern Thailand again. Menfila is doing, no doubt. May the 12 speed her on her way, and the warriors of darkness too. I cannot help but wonder what awaits those wayward souls. If they gave their lives in order to travel to the source, then in return to during the forest, would they not? But mayhap that's something else. An ending to mark a new beginning. Alphno seems to be at a loss for words. That's a rare thing. For Alphno to have no words? Forgive me, my thoughts were elsewhere, and this when I know full well there is yet work to be done. The crystals. Leave them to me. I will go back into Zaharak and secure them. The Mulja will be in disarray after the thrashing the warriors of darkness gave them. They are not like to notice a lone bard skulking about. But Thancred, you don't have to do this, I know, but I want to. I will see you at the Rising Stones. I should go and find Ida and Papolimo. They must have finished searching the mass camp by now, not that it matters anymore. You must be tired, I know I am. If thou will permit me, my lady, I would ask a question. When didst thou become aware of mine independent pursuits? When I saw you meeting with the warrior of darkness and the Ascian in white at the great library. I tried not to think the worse. You've never been one to confide in others. So knew that even were your intentions pure, you would not share your plans with us until you felt the time was right. But I cannot deny that a part of me feared you had simply betrayed us. Would that there had been another way. Know that I took no pleasure in deceiving thee, and that these sins will forever weigh heavy on my heart. I understand why you did what you did, that you but sought to achieve the greatest good while inflicting the least harm. Not many would have the courage to make that choice. But even knowing that what came of your actions, I find that I cannot condone them. I'm sorry. Forgive me, but I believe the events of the day have taken their toll on me. I should take a rest for a while. If you will grant me leave, I would gladly escort thee into a refuge of thine own choosing. Once my lady hath regained her strength, we shall join thee at the Rising Stones. Until then, warrior of light. This is one of the primal dog mounts that you get for running. What's it? Is that? I think that's the Stormblood Savage Trials. I got it from doing the. Every now and again, they do this Moogle Tome event where they'll make a bunch of like the raid mounts available and some other stuff available by going and getting Mog Tomes. Which they'll scatter throughout a various couple of different activities. So I went and did that on 3 different characters and got this mount on 3 different characters because it's not likely I'll go through and do Savage Trials at all. Well met. Alphno said you would be joining us. Well, the worst part is you just missed it because just before Endwalker they'd done it for like a month or so. Actually, I don't believe it. The crystal's been feeling all of it. I don't know what it is. I sympathize, Ida. Even now I struggle to comprehend that which I saw. The only thing I can say with any certainty is that I feel blessed to have been granted a final chance to speak with her. 'Twas bittersweet, aye, but also affirming. I mean, I'm not opposed to doing savage trials. It's just, I these days I kind of suck at rating. I don't really have a very good attention span for it. I mean, I could probably do it, and we'd probably eventually, some point, get a win. But that's a whole different thing. Alpha, no, I believe it is past time Ida and I rejoined the Scions. We have been away for far too long. Though I am loath to leave the Griffin to his own devices, I feel our investigation would benefit from your more dispassionate perspectives. And I hope that we might in turn offer your own opinions on the many challenges that you have faced in our absence. Gods, it's been absolutely ages, hasn't it? I can't wait to hear about everyone's adventures. We should be glad to recount them, and Taru's tales may well surprise you. Ida, Ralgar be praised, it is you. Ida, alive and standing here before me in the flesh, I can hardly believe my eyes. Well, as for the Moogle event, probably won't be for probably... I think they did what? I think they did 3 of them throughout Shadowbringers. So maybe 6 to 9-ish months from launch, which would put it somewhere probably between June and August. Somewhere I would say it'd probably be the next Moogle Tome event. Oh, come now. Has it really been so long you don't remember me? It's Gundebolt. I fought beside your father in the Revolution. Do not think less of her, friends. It has been 20 years since the occupation sent us our separate ways. But the Resistance were always welcome in Little Alamigo. They gave us hope, and young Ida most of all. Although, if you haven't done it, you've got about 2 days left to go through and do the New Year's event that's going on. You can start that in Limsa Lamensa. It's a quest or two, not a whole lot to it, but it is kind of neat and fun and different. And then, because they didn't do it because it was so, for a couple different reasons, yes, actually, I will see about putting it on here and just once this cutscene's done. Do not think less, friends. It's been 20 years since the occupation sent us our separate ways, but the Resistance were always welcome in Little Alamigo. They gave us hope, and young Ida most of all. Ida here was always full of fire, even the first to volunteer for a mission. Until the day she up and vanished, that is. There were rumors, and we feared the worst, but here you are, alive and well, looking nary a day older. Well, what can I say? I'm sorry for running off like that and making you all worry. It's a long story, but you see, I got involved with my friends here, the Scions. Oh, sorry, we were still the Circle of Knowing back then. Right. Anyway, I wanted to come back and tell you, but it was all very secretive stuff at the time, and as you can see, I'm completely fine. I know you've got a lot to talk about, and we will, but right now I've got to hurry back to our headquarters. My friends are expecting me. Pray for Griver. It's been a very long day for us all. I promise we will visit again at the first opportunity. Let us return to the Rising Stones. Hell's take me for giving you that mask. Okay. Let's see here. There, you can get that helmet in silver or gold. Is the quest reward. This is the silver version of it. But yeah, I would say. And then here soon is supposed to be the Halloween event that from October that never happened for whatever reason. Need more mounts. Well, don't forget to do. There is a mount that looks pretty cool, but it's a little tricky. But it's also a great way to level your fishing class. If you go and do the Endeavor instance for the ocean fishing, and once you actually, if you do well enough and you get 10,000 points, there's a pretty cool mount you can get from doing that. 90 if you have Endwalker. And I was supposed to go to more donuts, and I did not go to more donuts. So your Dragoon is 6 levels away, and your Bard is 8. And then don't forget you can... And your Samurai is dismal. And your Reaper is 20 levels away, if you haven't started it. No, Reaper is DPS. They did Reaper and Sage were the new classes for this expansion. Reaper is DPS. Actually, I think right now it's actually one of the best DPS classes in the game. If I've been keeping up with the news correctly. That and Ninja. Ninja's apparently really high up there right now. You pick up Reaper actually in Oda. And Sage, being the new healer class, you pick up in Limsa Lamensa. They usually start out the new classes actually in older areas. Like Samurai you picked up in Oda. I don't think any classes start in Alamigo, Hinksha, or the first, or in any of the Endwalker areas. Welcome home. I trust your journey was uneventful. You will be pleased to hear that Thancred has secured the crystals. He sent word a short while ago. Once he has delivered them safely into the Temple Knight's care, he will rejoin us here and we can declare this matter officially resolved. While awaiting your arrival, I took the opportunity to contact Ishtola and Kryle and brief them on all that has occurred. I also requested that they return to the Rising Stones at their earliest convenience. Now that our lost friends have been found, it would seem meet to discuss the future.
Back in the solar. It's been too long since we were all together like this. Not since after Moonbreeder.
Much has changed since then. We ourselves, most of all.
Though not all who were lost could be gathered here today, we may take comfort in the knowledge that those who are not are carrying on the fight.
While I am grateful to our friends in the north for their hospitality, it isn't half good to be back.
But, as Papalima rightly said, much has changed since we last stood here. The Scions of the Seventh Dawn are not as they once were, nor should we be. Our travels in the north brought us into contact with a host of fine and generous people, and their selfless deeds serve to show me that it is not lofty causes that should inform our actions, but our hearts. And I hope that the Scions might continue in this manner, as individuals driven by individual principles. Provided we all sincerely desire to work towards Eorzea's salvation, I believe the paths we follow to achieve it need not, and should not, be dictated by any single ideal.
Companions bound by a common purpose, free to go whither they will. The idea is not without merit. Very well. I shall resume my research of the primals and the elder gods of Eorzea. Should anyone have need of my findings, you need only ask. I should be glad of your continued assistance.
Well, my main purpose in coming here was to see the signs of the Seventh Dawn restored and my dear friend found. Nevertheless, having involved myself in your struggles, I feel compelled to see them through to the bitter end. For Minfilia's sake. That is, if there are no objections.
You will always be welcome here, Kryl.
Urianger, can we trust you to carry on your investigation of the Ascians as before?
Regardless of mine own desires, I am undeserving of your trust, having so villainously deceived you all.
Now, I'll hear no more of that. 'Twould be disrespectful of Minfilia's wishes. She entrusted matters here to us, that we might protect this star and understand the truth which hides at her heart. Mayhap I can handle the former, but I think you far better suited to the latter. No?
Very well. Then out of love for my Lady Minfilia and Moonbreeder both, this shall be my solemn charge.
Papalimo and I should probably return to Thanalan to keep an eye on the Resistance. There's still the matter of the Griffin and the Amalja, not to mention the new Imperial Viceroy. That little lot must be worthy of our attention, right?
And what will you do, Alize?
You know I have no great love for organizations and formalities. That being said, this new approach you propose is not wholly objectionable, and we've always got her to keep us from bickering.
Hey, don't put me in
But I
between
will
you
suffer no
guys.
titles. I am not here for House Leveilleur, nor to walk in Grandfather's
I'm
shadow.
not going to be your Bobby singer.
Upon that point, we see eye to eye. If it please you, you may think of me as but another comrade in arms.
Well then, Alfie, I for my part shall see to the paperwork and the finances with my characteristic aplomb.
I would not have it any other way, Tataru.
They're idiots.
And we mustn't forget you. What now for the Warrior of Light?
The road goes ever on.
Indeed.
The path behind us was fraught with hardship, and the path before us will be no less unforgiving. But a new dawn shall break over the realm, and I see before me the faces of those who will deliver it.
I actually am about halfway through in my rewatch of Supernatural till I get to wherever I left off. I actually just got into about halfway through season 5. Look at them, the signs of seventh dawn. Look how far we've come. The people we've met, the moments we've shared, the losses we've suffered, the tragedies we've overcome. All of it has made us who we are today. When we go from here and what the future holds, only the 12 know. But I know what we'll find out together. They just finally introduced Crowley. Is where I had to pause it at.
One world's heroes are another world's villains. One world's loss, another world's gain. Where men go as one, there is life. And where there is life,
Yes, he did.
My friends, if I may, I would ask that you entrust Tupsimati to me. Clouds gather upon the horizon, and as Master Louisoix's disciple, I would keep it close at hand. Thank you. I shall guard it well.
I actually had to physically
There is
pause it in the
cause
middle of
to
the
hope.
episode. They were actually just sitting down to talk about that very thing.
For every ending, every parting, marks a new beginning.
Well done, brother. You may resume your normal duties and rejoin the others. The coming battle shall be our greatest yet, and I intend to stand with you all on that glorious day. True believers are so readily led. I have given them everything they desired, all for which they have prayed. I doubt you can say the same for your pawns. Get what you wanted then? Was it all worth it in the end? There were some unexpected developments, but they were ultimately to our advantage. Be it hostess or fate, of light or dark, a world bereft of equilibrium was but a void in waiting. And a void is of no use to my master. I shall follow her emissary with great interest. As for the pawns whom you so pity, they have delivered unto me a gift which I do now present to you. Nidhogg's eyes. I told you that it was dumb to cast them into the abyss. The eyes of Nidhogg, many were the candidates considered, but by your deeds you prove yourself the most deserving. A man of boundless rage and bottomless despair, in whose breast beats a heart which thirsts for vengeance. Only you are fit to yield these eyes for weal or for woe. So it was here all along. We should have left you to rot inside the darkness. Oh, just you wait, my pretty. You and I are going to have so much fun. Okay, so that was the end of 3.4.